Morning, everybody. Welcome to the meeting of the Central Virginia Transportation Authority Finance Committee on Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. So we'll call it to order and welcome. I don't know if we have any guests here today. No. And I'm John Moyer. I'm Vice Chairman. Mr. Spoonhour, the chairman, is right now celebrating a Project Rocky out in Goochland, which is basically their diverging diamond interchange that, as he'd be the first to say, is because of CVTA money. And so he would be happy to be here, but he's a little happier to be with the governor at this time. So if everybody could stand as able, and we'll pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Scott, see if we have a quorum.
Yes, sir. Chesterfield County, Mr. Carroll.
Here.
Hanover County, Mr. Davis.
Present.
Henrico County, Mr. Nelson.
Here.
Goochland County Chair Spoonhour. New Kent County Vice Chair Moyer.
Here.
City of Richmond, Mayor Agula.
Here.
And Commonwealth Transportation Board, Mr. Davis.
Here.
Thank you. We do have a quorum.
Thank you, Scott. As far as I know, there is no member that's participating remotely, so we won't go through that. Are there any considerations for changing the meeting agenda?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I would request that we combine items B1 and B2. So the staff report in the packet discusses that. Very good. We need a vote on that, which you do. Yeah, very much.
Do you have a motion for that?
Motion to approve the amended agenda.
Second. And all in favor?
All right.
Against? Thank you. We will make that amendment change. Next is the approval for the minutes that occurred, or for the meeting that occurred April 9th. Any discussions, questions? So move. We have a motion and a second. No questions, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Now it's the ability for open public comment period. Is there anybody from the public here? I see none. And so we will go on. CVTA Finance Committee Chairs Report. Mr. Spoonhour did not give me anything to read for him, but he's, as I mentioned, he's in a good place right now. And as he stated about the ability that CVTA has helped with them, I also, need to be grateful about the ability that CVTA has done for New Kent and the regional ability to make the 3 lanes of 64 possible both ways with $100 million and a good portion, not everything we needed on the diverging diamond that we will be doing, that VDOT will be doing at exit 211. That was 18 million. So that, again, grateful for that. CVT activities report, Mr. Parsons?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Point your attention to page 8, and I don't want to take any thunder away from next month's Finance Committee meeting, but 2 things to highlight on the tax collections and allocations report. One, if you look at the current working capital reserve balance, by next month, we will have met the goal of funding in full the working capital reserve. So kudos to the finance team on getting that across the line way early. The other thing to note is that if you look at the top right, the lifetime to date receipt of taxes, by the time we get together in June, we will have surpassed $1 billion in tax revenues for the region. So that's a huge accomplishment. It's something I've been sharing with folks as we talk to different groups around the region. And again, I congratulate each of you for the success of the CVTA and where we're able to go. Other than that, I don't have any other highlights to add. The investment report is also included for March. We're waiting for the April report. That should be any day now. But we are working with TAC, particularly to try and identify if there are any project allowances that would allow for additional reinvestment of funds for a longer time period. Our fiscal agent is very cognizant of interest rates right now and watching the Fed actions and everything else in terms of short-term versus long-term reinvestment actions. So I hope to have a better understanding of where we sit when we get back together in June. Mr. Chair, that's all I have for that report.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. And I'll point out that probably by next month, we will be over the $500 million that has gone back to the municipalities and jurisdictions. So next tax activities report, Ms. Smith.
Morning.
Morning.
The TAC had spinoff of the TAC, the Fall Line Trail Working Group, had its last regularly scheduled meeting last Wednesday at the new Sports Packers office, which is in Lakeside, right on the trail. On Monday, the TAC met and received an update from VDOT on the Fall Line Trail design build bid status. I have to say that really slow. And shortfall, that's an item on your agenda. So we'll get into detail later on that. TAC members had questions about potential sources to fund the shortfall, including state regional trail funding and local funding. VDOT reported that they're looking at all potential sources, including the regional trail funding. I reported that Chesterfield had about $1 million in local funds on other Fall Line Trail projects that the county is administering. But on this particular project, there's just a small amount of local money. That's the required local match for TAP funding that the county had secured for the project. Next on the agenda for TAC was regional spend down plans. Chet suggested we update these twice a year as they're a good reference for bond issuance when considering bond issuance. And TAC members and VDOT were asked to submit updates by June 27th. Next was bond issuance, next steps documents. So Chet reviewed that document, which you've seen before, and the responsibilities of TAC, and asked TAC members to be prepared to provide the estimate and schedule for their top priority project for bond consideration. And he's going to provide more guidance as he continues to meet with the finance director working group and this committee. We also had a show and tell on the members page on CVTA. Chet showed us how to log in and the documents that are there and the stuff that will be posted there as well. It's going to make it a lot easier for people to do the reporting that we're talking about. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Any questions? Any questions? I guess we'll go to other business. And that is up to you, Mr. Parsons.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So page 11 is a staff report which addresses both item B1 and B2. And I'm just going to kind of work my way through the staff report to make those connections. As you know, back in September of 24, the authority took action to set aside $5.05 million from interest earnings for regional project development. TAC has been working diligently on possibilities for use of those funds for 6 months now, and the items under the background section 1, 2, and 3 were all possibilities that TAC considered one way or another to really try and make an immediate impact from this $5 million in interest earnings, including putting funding in a balance entry pool to support cost increases, supplementing existing regional projects with an outstanding fund balance, and then allocating funding to new regional projects. For various reasons explained by TAC members, many of the projects that are on this list were really not good candidates for the $5 million. Either they were PE only, which means it wouldn't get a project across the line anyway. It would be a small portion of the overall cost of the project. Or the overall balance would not be something that would see an immediate benefit from an additional $5 million. Many of the regional projects we have now that are not smart scale recipients have tens of millions of dollars in outstanding balance. So we will continue to work on ways to identify funds to support those. So the TAC recommended to set aside the 5.85 million to the balance entry, which was, as I said again, to support project cost increases due to inflation, material costs, and other factors. We have an active balance entry from year to year, depending on the project allocations and the regional awards. So this is a safe and supportive action to consider. So that was coming to you for consideration on a recommendation to the full authority. In addition, Ms. Smith mentioned that the Fall Line Work Group and TAC heard an update from VDOT on bid returns and current action on the Design Build 2 project, which is the fall line from Chesterfield, Colonial Heights, and Petersburg. And the current expectation is that the award has not been given yet. So the particular project details are not fully available, but the understanding is that the delta is about $10.2 million between the original understanding and the range of bids that have come back. So VDOT has approached me. We've had numerous conversations about this, and they're looking for commitments for additional funding so that this design build project can be awarded this cycle and is able to be moved forward with current market conditions and the expectation of the bids that have been presented will be useful. So Fall Line Work Group and the TAC both received information updates at their May meetings. Actually, if you wanted to look more, on page 8 and 9 of the packet are the slides dealing with Design Build 2 that VDOT presented. There are a number of things related to a design build scenario that allow for additional efficiencies as well as enhancements. Some of the things that are listed there on page 9 in terms of the enhancements that may be inherent in these bid packages would provide additional benefit for the trail if these are able to be moved forward. With all that said, the staff recommendation, which is on page 12, is that CVTA has a vested interest in the success of the Fall Line Trail, and the investment that CVTA has provided to date are about 37% of the total funds committed for this particular segment. The Commonwealth Transportation Board has committed 56.7% of funding, and the remainder, as Ms. Smith mentioned, were from transportation alternative grants, other smaller grant sources that have been awarded. So the Finance Committee today is considering two matters, which I think are related. A recommendation from TAC to place $5.05 million in interest earnings in the balance entry to support project cost increases, and also a request from VDOT to financially support project cost increases for a regionally significant project that CVTA is committed to support. So the recommendation from staff is that CVTA address the TAC recommendation and the project funding need by committing $4 million in interest earnings to the Fall Line Design Build number 2 project, and then place the remaining 1.05 in that interest income to the regional project balance entry. That would still address the TAC recommendation and the shortfall that VDOT has identified. I did do one additional calculation in terms of the mileage for Design Build 2. It is roughly proportional. Chesterfield County has 62% of the mileage in the Design Build 2 project. Colonial Heights has roughly 37 and Petersburg has 4%. So the bulk of this design build 2 project is in the CVTA geographic area. So we are still receiving more benefit than we have committed in terms of the splits between CVTA funding and Commonwealth Transportation Board. Mr. Chair, I think that's it. I flew through it. I apologize, but happy to take any questions.
First, this is all talking about the $11 million interest that we had.
Originally,
This
it
is
was
what
11,
we're
yes.
cutting.
Yes, sir.
We already put 5 million to the reserve. And then this is the rest of that. So in this, I'm just asking the question, the cost overrun is 10 million. What's the total cost?
The total cost for the section,
Is it 70 million?
the bids were very close. It's between
59.
59 and 62 is the revised cost.
Yes.
All in, 78 million. So
$78
have
million.
the contractor's bids along with CEI, right of way phase, PD phase, all in cost for the project is 78 million.
78 million out of 4 times. So we're putting in, the CVTA is putting in around 30 million towards this project would be our percentage.
That's correct.
And then the Commonwealth Transportation Board is putting in the rest. And how much is Petersburg and Colonial Heights? That money is from
The other sources, between CMAQ, TAP, and federal support is about 6% of the total cost.
yeah, that's what Okay. Any questions? Yes.
You said the overrun was 10. We're asking for 4. What's the plan for the other 6?
The state is committed to finding the
Fair.
balance.
Okay.
And one extra on the 11 million, there is also 1.5 million going to wayfinding
Yes.
of the fallen trail. Okay. She can understand where I'm going with this, but Mr. Carroll?
I make a motion to approve.
To approve the staff recommendation.
Yes.
Both of them? Okay.
Yes.
Second. Any questions?
Mr. Chair, I just want to make a comment, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
This CVTA, our first big project that we committed to fund regionally, we all agreed was the Fall Line Trail. What a lot of people don't know is that the initial commitment that the CVTA made of, I think it was 105 million, roughly. We also negotiated with the CTB, where they put in at that time 42 billion. But part of those negotiations was in fact us committing to $100 million for the 64 winding project, which we think is going to be a great project. And I think we made the right call. But we got to get the Fall Line Trail. It's going to need additional funding to get it built. And on good, bad, or indifferent, 17 miles of the Fall Line Trail fall in Chesterfield County. And we know we are going to have to come up with ways to fund a significant portion of that goes north of this, from where this lower section terminates to the city line, because that part is not funded, to my knowledge right now. As a matter of fact, some of the funding that we had in place for that, we shifted to the lower part of the trail. It won't do us any good if we build a trail from Ashland to Richmond and then we don't go all the way through to the rest of it. I am committed to finding ways to fund other projects in the future. I think I've made that perfectly clear. But I do think this is an important thing. And the fact that the state is willing to pony up the additional money right now, I think is important. And the longer we wait to do this, the more expensive it's going to get. We've already figured that out because of it's hitting us on all of our project overruns. So I certainly would appreciate anybody's consideration on that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. So any other questions?
Just a
Yes.
comment. So I do think it makes a lot of sense for us to move this through with the adoption of the 6-year plan. And that will be coming before the CTB in June. If this project moves through with a swap of other projects along with it, it'll just should move through. If we have to bring it back as a standalone, I'm not sure how that would go. So I think it makes a lot of sense to group it with the other projects and with the 6-year plan and adopt into the CTB. So, thank you.
Any other questions? Personally, yes, I agree. Thank you, for your comment, both your comments. I think, maybe we could shorten this period of time for the next time we come through with the interest that we want to, divvy up, whether it's in the reserve or some other project. This one took a long time and it put us in a situation that it is best that we do this now. So I agree. We have a motion, a second. Could you give us a roll call, please?
Certainly.
Scott.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
Vice Chair Moyer. Mayor Avula.
Hi.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.
Yeah.
On behalf of Jesco County.
We appreciate your comments, that's for sure. Next, Mr. Parsons, the CVTA bond issuance.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This is page 15 of the agenda packet. You all should find this familiar. This was a memo that was considered by the full authority at its April meeting. As Ms. Smith mentioned, TAC started discussing the TAC responsibilities, which is shown there on the bottom of page 15. What I wanted to highlight today was not particularly that section, but the information on page 16, which is related to responsibilities of not only this committee, but also the finance director's working group. I have been able to reach out and make good contact with all of the finance directors from around the region. And we are scheduled to have a virtual conversation, I believe, tomorrow morning relating to the CVTA and its current conditions and what the expectations are of the finance directors. As you can see under that, the development responsibilities for the finance directors, items 4 through 7, the finance directors are really going to be playing a critical role in understanding the types of bonds available to the CVTA and the associated terms, cost of issuance, impact an initial bond will have on future bonding. And that is all going to be, we're going to plan on discussing that tomorrow morning, along with our financial advisors and bond counsel, so that everybody is on the same page to help essentially develop the guardrails for TAC to consider when they're coming up with potential projects. Finance directors will also use the input from the TAC regarding the potential project development details once those are submitted, to prepare a regional snapshot of budget demands by year, so that we understand how the outlays will occur once a bond is considered and is issued. Develop funding need projections by year and work directly with this committee to refine or prioritize project packages to meet the funding focus for the CVTA. And then the finance committee itself is really going to act as the convener of both the TAC and the finance director's work products, to review and assess the impacts of the funding package developed by the finance directors and its impacts in relation to annual estimated tax revenues, to work directly with TAC as needed to provide more information on particular priority projects, and then working with bond counsel and the financial advisors to develop the final bond package for consideration by the authority. That is all expected to happen in parallel. We want the finance directors to be doing their thing at the same time that TAC is considering priority projects, and then those committees will be bringing you regular updates over the next few months in terms of project progress and where things stand. And then Mr. Gregory is going to make all the magic happen with all of these things coming together from a legal perspective into the fall and the spring. This is all also going to be working in conjunction with our next round of regional funding, which we are starting in July, and we'll have awards in March, April timeframe of 26. So all of this will be coming to a head together intentionally so that we understand any outstanding project needs and gaps in funding based on project applications and current local status of project funding. With that, this is just an information item. There's no action requested. Just wanted to give you all an update on where things stand. Happy to take any questions.
I think Mr. Parsons, are there any questions for Mr. Parsons? No,
Sounds like we're making progress.
yeah, really. We've got a number of different entities getting together, talking about it, which is good. Yes. Next is CVTA Finance Committee member comments. Any comments from the committee? Seeing none. Next meeting would be June 11th, 2025 at 9 AM right here. And because of that, I'll accept any motion to adjourn.
Second for the quickest meeting of the finance committee.
Okay, we accomplished that. We are adjourned at 9:00.